Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome to Broken Lords on Endless, a series in which we play the Broken Lords faction in Endless Legend on Endless difficulty, and we totally win, because I'm so great at this game. I'm actually aggressively average. I can talk while the loading screen's happening. I just want you guys to be able to see the settings that we're using for the game. I am not a great player of Endless Legend. I would say that I'm a good player of Endless Legend. And a big part of the point of this series is to help you if you are having trouble playing on Endless difficulty, or if you play the game on a lower difficulty and enjoy it and are thinking you'd like to move up. Hopefully you can watch this series, see the kinds of decisions I make, and move your play up a level if it needs to be moved up a level, or realize that perhaps your play is actually already fine to move up a level. It turns out the game's not actually that hard on Endless. If somebody like me can do it, I believe you can do it too. I'm vamping while we wait for the intro cinematic to start up here. Alright, I think here we go.
We were different once. We fought, drank, and loved as mortal beings. But our world changed and we faced a stark choice. Alter our bodies or perish. Yet survival is not the same as life. Now we are prisoners of the armor that binds us and the dust that sustains us. We must drain dust, drain energy, or die. Where is our honor now, Lords of the Amber Plains? And what matters more, to reclaim our honor or sustain our bodies?
Yep, magic ghost robot vampires, basically. If I was going to describe the Broken Lords in one simple phrase, it would be, obviously, they're magic ghost robot vampires. I say that like it's a silly thing, but I have to say I really do like the faction design in this game. Anyway, what makes Broken Lords Broken Lords? What makes us special? Well, first of all, we got an appetite for dust. We don't have an appetite for most other things. Because we lack corporeal bodies, we don't really need food. In fact, we have no use for food. But because we're basically made of dust at this point, we need a lot of dust. So we cannot see, gather, or use food. Citizens are not born in the traditional way. We construct new citizens out of dust, which means, first of all, that dust is our growth resource, and secondly, that we have to make our citizens manually. If you're playing these guys, it's easy to forget to do that. It's important not to. Also, our bodies do not heal, because we don't really have bodies. We just have magic armor. So our units don't regenerate hit points. They must be healed manually, expending dust. But it's kind of a benefit too, because it means that we can instantly heal a unit no matter how damaged it is, as long as we have the dust to do so. This allows Broken Lords to be very effective at long, drawn-out campaigns, because you can heal your units after every battle immediately, while your enemy faction is probably going to have to wait several turns for their units to heal, so you can just keep hammering them. We are dust efficient, +1 dust on any terrain that has dust on it. Obviously, pretty important for making use of terrain in light of the fact that resources are going to be missing from it. We have some unique units. We'll talk about our units when we talk about them, when we get to them. And we get to start with advanced armor and the Empire Mint unlocked. First of all, the Empire Mint is obviously incredibly important for us. Secondly, advanced armor is a total garbage technology. Tier 1 titanium and glass steel armor almost isn't better than iron. Like, Tier 2 iron armor is right up there with Tier 1 titanium and glass steel, and Tier 3 iron armor actually probably is better. But advanced armor, Tier 1 titanium and glass steel accessories maybe good? I don't know. You do notice that it does give minus 10% on titanium or glass steel initial item costs. This is something I don't talk about very often. Hold on, let's go to the tech wheel real quick for this. I think it is the case with this as well. Yeah. Okay. The first era technologies, any technology you get that lets you make stuff out of, lets you make gear out of a strategic resource, also reduces the cost of things that are made out of that resource. So the fact that we have this is giving us at least a discount on good gear that we will unlock from later technologies. And I believe it applies to all titanium and glass steel items. So the tier 1 advanced armor thing at least also reduces the cost of tier 2 weaponry. Now granted, minus 10% doesn't mean quite what we would like, given that the costs are so low. It doesn't even remove one whole titanium or glass steel from the cost. But, you know, it's fine. It's nothing to turn up our noses at. Any discount's good. It's just kind of weak as a starting tech compared to the kinds of stuff that a lot of the other factions get. So let's have a look around here. We started near a pretty compelling anomaly, honestly, and we have some pretty good tiles available to us. We also have a river in our opening region, which is potentially very powerful. Unfortunately, not really convenient to take advantage of the river and the anomaly at the same time. Let's fan our initial units out a little bit and see what we can see. We want to get the best possible idea of what we're looking at in our home region before we make any decisions about where we're settling. I was not expecting it to extend so far down here, but it looks like settling right on the river is probably out of the question due to the dearth of resources. There only being 2 resources per tile on each of these is kind of a bummer. It's worth noting that rivers are slightly less good for these guys than they are for a lot of factions, because the river tile adds a point of food, or the river adds a point of food to its tile. We found nothing in those ruins. And what about over here? 30 dust. Okay, obviously dust is good. So what we want to do probably is settle right on top of this anomaly, or right here. What I'm thinking is that we want to expand to get that tile pretty quickly, because obviously it's fantastic. I think I'm going to settle right on top of this anomaly so that we can get that, even though right on top of this anomaly is objectively a worse space than right here. Like, this is 11 industry and 16 dust. This is 8 industry and 16 dust. Also 3 fewer science. You know what? Now let's start here. We'll expand twice to hit that. It'll be okay. This is a pretty good tile for us. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is... This is the button we press to buy population. We want to get our Founders Memorial and our Empire Mint up pretty quickly, but I actually think that we go Empire Mint first. And you'll note that our Founders Memorial gives 4 dust per turn instead of 2 dust per turn to make up for the fact that it's not giving us 2 food. Alright. This is going to make our technology push a little bit on the slow side. 4-turn mill foundry. But I'm actually fine with it because the dust engine. Dust is everything for us. The roving clans really like dust. They like dust a lot. But for us, dust is everything. We need a feedback loop that goes, get more dust, get more people, get more dust, get more people, get more dust, get more people, and we're just going to completely out-economy the other players. That's the hope, anyway. It is a thing that can be done. I don't know if it's a thing that I'm necessarily going to do on account of, not being perfect at the game. We got a faction quest. So we need to escort a Broken Lord's hero with at least 3 infantry units to inspect the temple ruins. Obviously, we got to start with 2 infantry units, so the game is expecting us to build 1 more. And I'll talk about our units in a second after we read this. The quakes and fires appear to be over. We lost the city and are now homeless, but we are strong and remain unbowed. The first step is to secure our new home. To found a city, build an army, and explore the ancient places. For our experience tells us this, if it tells us nothing else. The ancient ruins scattered across the map are places of great knowledge, great wealth, and great danger. For all of those reasons, we must explore and exploit them. With caution, however. Any place of great value will be guarded by creatures of great strength. We must not forget this. Exploration will also take their mind off our condition, and this new method for dealing with it. Dust is expensive and difficult to exploit, but this new way, this draining of living souls to sustain our own forms, it goes against who we are. It violates our principles, our honor. It is everything we have been fighting against. And yet, it is easy. So we have to build an army, explore the area, carefully explore ruins, find endless technology, all the stuff that you normally do in a game of Endless Legend. So let's keep looking around. This is kind of unfortunate. I really want to get all of the tiles in my home region discovered, obviously. We are going a little slow on the parlay. I usually try to pick up parlay fairly quickly, but I really want to get our city going. We'll worry about minor factions and pacification and quest rewards after we get our basic economy up. It's really important to play a hard economy game. We're not going to see a lot of new tiles this turn with this guy, but I think it's important to swing down here and see what the rest of our starting region holds. Also, unfortunately, our home region has Bos as a, or Boss maybe, I don't know, as a minor faction, which is a bummer for us because, first of all, they're cavalry, which is a slot that we totally have covered with our normal units, and secondly, the assimilation bonus is a food increase, which does absolutely nothing for us. Alright, hoping to find some dust in some ruins. Instead, finding only disappointment. Early dust from ruins is really valuable because it gets you your second citizen faster. What are we looking at? 112. Okay. In 2 turns, we'll have our Empire Mint up. So let's talk real quick about our units. The base unit for these guys is the Stalwart. It is a hardy knight unit. It has 52 defense and 140 life. It's basically just really tough. 22 damage is the lowest of any starting unit, I believe, and 27 attack might also be the lowest of any starting unit. And 10 initiative, honestly, might be the lowest of any starting unit. Basically, all these guys are is really tough. They have the Dust Care attribute, which means they can be healed with dust, and obviously they don't heal normally because of our faction trait. And they have Soul Leech. They recover 20% of their... they heal for an amount equal to 20% of their max life if an enemy dies that they have attacked on that turn. So if we're careful, we can get a lot of free healing by taking advantage of this. That means we're going to be manualing our battles for the most part, because we have to be very cautious about the way our units attack. In the beginning of the game, we're not going to have dust just rolling in like crazy. Actually, go to here. Ooh, nice. 40 dust. That's a slightly above average reward. Delvers are good for these guys, obviously, because the Delver assimilation bonus is an increase in your dust income. So let's look around. What do we have? We see Haunts, which are cool. Haunts are plus science. We don't see the minor factions of any of these regions down south. Let's just kind of scout around. We are looking for good settling locations as well. Unfortunate empty ruin. Basically, I'm watching for anomalies, grouped up anomalies, because that's how I like to make that decision. This is pretty nice. This would be cool. Rivers are powerful for us because aquapulvistics is a great way to get a lot of technology very quickly, but unfortunately, the river itself isn't extra valuable for us like it is for a lot of other races, like I was saying earlier, due to the food thing. More Bos. Fantastic. Alright, let's get Parlay. Do I want to delay the extra science? I think I can afford to. You can see our dust per turn has shot up. We're in much better position now. But we really, really need to find some dust from ruins. I'm actually having a kind of a hard time just finding ruins. I feel like I've seen fewer this game than I usually do. This region is kind of strangely shaped. Alright, and I think that this is right. I think this is a sensible thing to do, to focus on the mill foundry first. We're definitely slowing down our initial tax with it, though. Come on, show me some ruins. Okay, here we go. I successfully noticed that the cliff face was there. It could have been an embarrassing turn. I have had a problem with that in the past. I keep moving places to do a thing and then finding out that thing is impossible because there's a cliff in the way. Alright, that pulled, actually, a couple of turns off of the Founders Memorial, and it'll get even better in a couple of turns when we have our mill foundry built. So we're basically just scouting around, doing the thing that I do at the beginning of pretty much every Endless Legend game. You just split up your initial force, scout just the regions that are adjacent to your home region. You're trying to, first of all, figure out the best place to settle in the near future, because you want to have that second settlement going fairly quickly. And also, just kind of getting a feel for the other players and where they're at. And, of course, finding as many ruins as you can quickly, because if you can find something cool that gives you a little bit of a kickstart, that can be really powerful. Like most 4X games, Endless Legend is a game where a small advantage can snowball into a big advantage very easily. Okay, we got this, which is a bummer, but we got enough XP to level up our unit. So let's talk about what we want to do here. We have Army Defense Boost 2, which is not really what we need. This unit has pretty okay attack stats, and Dust Efficiency 2. This honestly might be better off as a governor. Especially if we had a river, I would say. It's tough. It's tough to say. Let's, what resources do we have in our home region? Titanium, no luxury. That's awkward. I was hoping that it would be a little bit more impressive for Mining Authority, but I think we are going to try to go governor with this hero. Obviously, the hero is going to remain an army hero for the moment, both because we can get a lot of XP very quickly by searching ruins in the early game, and because we need to faction quest. Alright, so we see some things. Oh, Lust for Loot. Lust for Loot is always nice. Okay, so that's going to be a good bit of XP for our hero, searching all those ruins. Our next citizen comes at 175. And probably after we finish the Founders Memorial, we need to build at least one more stalwart. Alright, let's go hunting for... Ooh, I see a couple of anomalies stacked up here. 3 anomalies available from one tile. What are they? Are they exciting? Okay, so these ones give a lot of food. But, I mean, these are still tiles that have 4 points of resource on them, and then this is here. So, honestly, this is a pretty impressive spot. We have blue pressed up against us. This would help push them toward what I'm assuming... Yeah, this is an ocean tile, so this is not an inland lake. We can push blue toward that coast and then expand northward, although we do see pink a little bit. Man, maybe we want to expand to the coast. It can be awfully nice to have access to the water. Okay, if we colonize this region, we'll get some dyes. That's cool. Alright, and we're going to be able to start parlaying this turn, so who's in position to do that? Alright, well, we'll end this guy adjacent to that village so that we can start parlaying pretty quickly. Oh, we should also check this. So be the first to destroy at least 10 armies in order to gain this reward. That's probably not going to happen, unfortunately. The AI is just in a much better position militarily than we are right now. Be the first to gather at least 30 units of one luxury resource in order to earn 130 emeralds. Not a big deal. Emeralds are not a very compelling resource. So we're basically going to be ignoring the legendary deeds for right now, I think. Let us... We could assign our hero over to this army and then parlay to get the parlay experience for our hero, but I actually would rather explore a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more vision, because I value the intel. Okay, so there's a ruin right past those, or there's a river rather right past that clump of anomalies. I like that location a lot. Blue's going to dislike it if we settle there, but I don't care enough to let that stop me. This tribe has informed you that their kidnapped brothers are in Indorand. Where's Indorand? Oh, the region we're standing in right now. So burn down this village to pacify those guys. Okay. And now that we have drawn adjacent to this ruin, we go ahead and snap the hero over. We want to make sure we move everybody first because we use the hero's movement up, and your army has as much movement as the unit in it that has the least movement. So the fact that our hero is out of moves means that if we had snapped him over any sooner, the rest of the army also would not have been able to move. Okay, 80 dust for going to that location. Let's see what these guys want. Obviously 80 dust is huge for us. Return to this Kazanji village with an army that contains a minimum of 3 minor faction units. Not going to happen. We're 4 dust short of settling, or buying our next guy. Okay, there's a ruin over here. Do I want to pop the wine right now? Yeah. Because from 60% it takes us to Fervent, which is plus 30% resource generation and kind of a huge deal. And like I said, we're going to build a Stalwart next. At least 1. Maybe even 2. Alright, the next thing we should build is probably Science Tech. Library first, and then the Geomic Labs technology probably immediately after. This is a little unfortunate. We're gonna have these units run right past each other. I could just reform the army right now. Alright, let's do that. We have the resources necessary to go for the museum. I don't know if I want to. Like I said, another Stalwart might be the sensible play. And we'll have the library tech available soon. We may not want to delay our library by so much. That said, we have a higher population right now than anybody else does. Oh. It was this army that I wanted to run in that direction. Oh, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, we have a higher population than anybody else does at this point because we grow very quickly, and we will continue to grow quickly for a little while at least. What's our next one? It's 200 something, right? 239. So we might be able to get the library before anybody else could, just based on the fact that we have more people to devote to trying to build it. That said, that's not necessarily all that it takes to make that decision. We would be delaying a lot of things. Colonize this region, and these people will like us. I don't know that we're going to do that. We may not be doing that. Let's go ahead and merge these guys up. We may as well. I clearly have committed to the idea. So the other thing that we want to do is build a settler. We'd like to settle shortly after turn 20, probably, because at turn 20 is the Empire plan, and the cost of your Empire plan is based on the number of cities you have, so we want to take the Empire plan while we still have 1 city, and then expand to a 2nd city right afterward. Alright, well, this is not quite going to get us that 2nd citizen, 80 dust. But another 80 dust in a fairly far-off location. Okay, I'm actually going to have these guys fall back. We haven't parlayed with our home region's minor faction yet, and we probably should. So, does Amund want to build a museum or a settler? The museum does give you plus 20% dust on Empire approval level happy or higher. Yeah, let's go for it. We'll expand this way and be able to get to this a little sooner. I think it's an okay thing to go for right now. We also could just buy out the library if we wanted to. I don't know if that's worth doing necessarily. So I'm going to merge these 2 units into 1 army. It's not going to be too much longer before we're seeing minor faction units spawning, so we want to be ready to potentially fight back, even though our units are not actually great fighters. So we have no use for this right now. I think we're going to focus on... Actually... Our city's going to be busy for several turns. Maybe this would be a good time to pick up Mercenary Market. Because if we research a new building, we're not going to get value out of that technology right away due to our city being busy with the Wonder. Mercenary Market doesn't require us to build anything to take advantage of it. And we have enough dust to buy a citizen. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. It does take a turn off of the Wonder. Or, I'm sorry, the legendary... I don't know what it's called. It's a, you know, it's a Civ Wonder. Have we talked to these guys already? We have. Alright, I just reduced my movement for the turn. For no reason. Yeah, because this is Trode. This is the same region as that village. Alright. So we'll get our faction quest done a little more slowly than we might like. We're basically taking an early game hit here. Find some monsters in that ruin and kill them. Okay. We can do that, I'm sure, after our hero gets back. And it looks like pink is Mizari, or is that Valters? Okay, it's Valters. The symbols are, you know, intentionally very similar. Alright, so pink is a science-focused faction that can be a little warlike. I think we are not going to turn around for the Pearl. Let's focus on getting to this ruin. Winter striking in the middle of Lust for Loot is a little bit of a bummer. It also negatively affects our economy due to lowering the number of the amount of dust that's available from tiles. Alright, there's a bunch of regions over here that we don't actually have the quests for yet, so that's what this army is going to do while this army is out picking up stuff. Alright, another 80 dust, and 15 glass steel and 10 blood crystal await at this location. That's an annoying number of moves away. Jeez. Well, we have to get these units back anyway, so... Also, we should totally, you know, actually search the ruin. Okay. Alright, this is the Lust for Loot ruin. Yeah, that's a lot of turns of movement, but like I said, we have to get them back here anyway. It's not like it actually changes anything. 306. I don't know that we necessarily need to keep committing dust to this purpose. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and buy out our library. We dropped a quest because somebody else did it or killed the village that spawned it or something. We're going to move right on to this. Further points of this are just not valuable to us because we don't have a river in our capital. We will be moving that hero to governorship just the very moment that becomes at all feasible. Once we get our faction quest done, basically. Alright, with most factions, this is the pretty obvious move. But with this faction, I think we're going to be moving all of our citizens onto Dust, like, as soon as we finish the museum, or maybe after a settler. Let's put the settler on the dock in here. Alright, and we can kill this minor faction army real quick. We will be intentionally falling back to let the city's militia take the brunt of the attack, because the militia, first of all, is not of great strategic importance at this early stage of the game, and secondly, because they have a trait called Cavalry Slayer that makes them better at fighting units that are essentially horses. Okay, that guy actually seems to really want to fight that that militia over there. That's strange that they're so focused on on attacking. Actually, how much move do you have? 3? 1, 2, 3. So yeah, if we ensure that our units move intelligently, we can get a lot of swords onto this horse guy. or our opponent will move in a way that makes our move kind of silly and irrelevant. So you can see our units really are not good at dealing damage. Like, really, really. Would you guys please focus? But we have stamina. Things get a little bit better as we get more gear, obviously. I should hope that that's fairly clear. Ooh, okay, that was lucky. Alright, and we should be able to finish this off. Yeah, things will get better as we get more gear. The fact that we're likely to survive a lot of rounds in combat means that we get a lot of opportunity to apply any weapon buffs that we've been given. You can see that the heal is not super cheap. It's a little bit of a bummer to take damage with these guys. But we can't have a minor faction running around making stuff crappy in our capital region. Do we have 8 turns left? 2 turns. Can I get over there with these guys? No, I don't think so. Well, I should have noticed earlier that I wasn't going to have time to get back and started moving these guys over here. And then, if winter ends right now... 1, 2... No, actually, we're still not going to get there in time. Shoot. Ah. And blue is also Broken Lords, it looks like. That is Broken Lords architecture if I've ever seen it. So the Broken Lords AI is, first of all, very aggressive, and secondly, not actually very good at the game. We may be able to turn this to our favor, basically. Alright, we're just going to focus up here. It's important for our units to get XP, but obviously I don't like fighting too much because of how expensive the healing is. Our decent defense stat makes it more likely that we'll go through battles without taking significant damage, but as you saw against that last group of enemies, it doesn't always really work out. Obviously our hero is much better at fighting than the stalwarts are. The stalwarts get a lot better once they have some gear. All that toughness starts to be meaningful once you can actually deal damage at the same time. And there we go. We got a soul siphon proc there, so that's good. We can veer out of our way to get some pearls now that we know it doesn't matter. We'll just come over here and get ready to merge. Okay, next is probably this stuff and this stuff. Our first era military unit is a cavalry unit, and it's pretty good. We will probably want to pick it up, although actually it's not very good against this guy. It's not very good against our closest neighbor and most likely enemy, because of the fact that his infantry units are tough enough that they'll just sort of act as a wall for it. Alright, so we'll be in permanent, not permanent, but we'll be in a state of happiness thanks to our new building as soon as we get it. That'll help a lot with our income, and then additionally, the buff that our income gets, because we're happy, will help a lot with our income. Alright, so let's start cleaning up these minor factions around our home region. On the way to this ruin. This Defender of the Weak pacifies our... Yeah, I'm going to have to turn around and do this. Okay, so we got our stupendous legendary building. I'm going to pound out a settler, unfortunately a little bit later than I would like. And then we'll be right on track. But I do think that the plus 20% dust is going to be significant, because obviously dust, like I said, dust is really everything for these guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Let's fight these monsters. Alright, we got 80 dust just for showing up. And then if we kill these guys, we'll get our home region guy added, our home region minor faction pacified, which will add a point of population to the capital. And I'm going to have you be on the inside. You come up here. These guys have how much move? 2? Okay, so they can't get to him even if they want him. It doesn't matter if our hero gets horribly injured, obviously. Let's try to focus on killing this guy if we can. Even if we do lose one of our stalwarts here, we still have enough to move the faction quest forward. I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, good work, guys. Okay. Unfortunately, our hero going first means that our guys don't get to soul siphon off of the things that he kills. Which is a shame because he's the guy who's most likely to kill stuff. That's a bit of awkward anti-synergy. Alright, so we're saving up dust for 2 things now. Citizens and... Alright, now that we've finished that settler, we're going to move everybody over to dust. Really improve our output. And start really pumping this. So actually, we should try to hire a hero while they're still cheap. Alright, 347. So we'll get one next turn. We'll get a new hero to lead our army. Somebody just completed just destroyed 10 armies. Yep, it was the pink player. Okay. Alright, so we'll get this first step of the faction quest done, and then we'll move you to the city, and we'll hire a new hero to serve as the commander of our army. The door remains closed. The mechanism requires quantities of dust to open. Okay, well, I reckon we can give it 80 dust. So we actually have exactly the price of a couple of the heroes from last turn. It went up slightly in between turns, unfortunately. It's a single drider. Okay, that we can auto. That was a little ridiculous. Alright, so we got Archaeologist. Plus 20% research cost reduction for Era 1 technologies on the Empire. That is better earlier, obviously, but we'll take it. So we need 2 more attacks. We're going to get this, and I think Riders. This is a little bit tough. Obviously, happiness bonus from the sewer system is cool, but it's less necessary thanks to the museum. Pillage is valuable because pillage is a great way of getting dust early. I'm not sure. I think actually we'll go pillage instead of rider. In many games we might get this, but we just don't really have access to the river right away. As we get this city settled and build it out closer to the water on both sides, we'll pick stuff up. And we found 30 dust, which ensures that we'll be able to hire a hero. Okay, so who wants to be our military commander? Army initiative boost 3, defense boost 3, health boost 2, initiative boost 1, that's pretty compelling. Attack boost 2, army health boost 2, attack boost 3, vision range boost 1, initiative boost 2, that's interesting. Army health boost 2, army attack boost 2, and army attack boost 2. So I kind of want to take this. How much is army initiative boost 2 actually? Plus 4 plus 10%. So actually they'd only be at like 15 initiative. Their initiative is still garbage. So that army initiative boost kind of doesn't do anything. I was hoping to see a little bit more like damage boosting ability. Health boost 2 isn't bad. Our other real option is we had a couple of guys who have attack boosts. Attack boost 3 is pretty good, and this unit does have 4 range. Only 24 damage, though. The Valter's heroes often have lower damage than you would expect, and it's made up for by Technolover, but Technolover isn't available to me, so it's kind of a crummy. We might go here. This unit has a decent actual stats and is ranged, and I like ranged heroes even with non-ranged armies because the ranged skill tree gives plus move, plus vision, plus attack, and plus damage. If you have ranged units in there as well, you get some pretty beautiful plus range bonuses. And we will have ranged units eventually. Our second era research unit is pretty powerful. I think we're going to take Syria Illustra. Yeah. Alright, so here we move Jocelyn over. Assign our new hero. And the next thing we're saving up for is governor for the new city. Yeah, I really like this location. We have rivers on two sides, so we'll be able to have a lot of river tiles in a built-up city. We got 10 grass silk as well. Popping this will briefly bring us to fervent, and it won't do anything else for some time. So we may as well just go ahead and throw it in there now. And new faction quest. The nobles are unhappy. I understand their reasoning. We try to rebuild our nation and survive the changes in our planet, but the exploitation of dust is slow and expensive. To simply leech life from others is fast, easy, and gives one a feeling of power. It is a heady thrill that gives sensations of a virility and perception, almost invincibility. Marquis Saluzzo is perhaps the worst. Though all the nobles and fanatics seek ancient relics to give them power, the bauble that the Marquis has found has given him great strength of persuasion and an enhanced ability to drain life. His speeches make it all seem so easy. Exploit the lesser peoples for our own glory, rule the planet from a position of strength, and turn those who would defy us into weakened slaves. But I cannot accept this. It is expedient, but that does not make it just or right. Sadly, my hand has been forced, and I have little choice but to let the sages and alchemists study, seeking an answer that is pleasing to their greedy patrons. We will forge ahead with research and improve our knowledge, though I do it for other reasons. For my part, I would see our people resist temptation, even if it presents a risk. There is a reason that the first word of the royal seal is honor. Research 8 technologies of the Research Era 1. Well, as soon as we, I think we're at 7 now? Yeah, so we'll have that in a couple of turns. We'll get enough wine to probably force us back into Fervent, even after the approval hit for founding this city. Okay, we can see red to our west. Rothkalor has some significant strategic value in that it caps blue's expansion in this direction. So we may want to get that. Now let's make sure that I'm settling in the most sensible place. I'm drawn to the location that has all of the anomalies, especially since it has 20 extra approval. 12 industry, 14 dust. Yeah, this is a slightly better location, I guess. And it gives us a reason to go for Aquapulvistics, because that city has a lot of river tiles. But this location has 20 approval. It's not to be underestimated. We can expand out to here quickly. Let's do this to start. Happy people are productive people. Yeah, we started happy. We're going to buy out a couple of points of population, or apparently exactly one point of population right away. I think we are going to focus on industry in this city for the moment. Get these things done quickly. Ah, and this region has Delvers. Fantastic. Looks like just the one village, though. Oh no, there is a second village. It's down here somewhere. So that'll be plus 10% dust for our empire once we assimilate them, which is beautiful, obviously. We should finish scouting that out. So I think we are going to end up taking Aquapulvistics over Pillage. We may get Pillage in the very near future, though. Alright, so in Almond, citizens are producing 9 dust each turn. Yes, we have a common frontier. We're encroaching on your territory. You know, I was here first, buddy. I'm assuming. I don't really know that, but probably I was here first, so maybe you're encroaching on my territory. You ever think of that? I think, actually, let's go ahead and pound out a settler real quick. Because I think I want to take Rothkalor to, first of all, guarantee myself access to the sea, and secondly, cap blue and make them want to expand southward instead. I mean, they'll probably just take these. Wow. This is a pretty good set of anomalies for people who like food. Not so much for the people who have actual access to it. Yeah, I think I did the right thing over here. We're going to have to buy some citizens and try to expand quickly. Fortunately, our population values are much more in our control with this faction than they are with most. I really gotta turn off my phone when I start recording. Alright, let's see if these Delvers want to give us a nice easy quest. Okay, we've got green down here as well. I was hoping to not meet blue for a little while longer. Just in the hopes that I would be able to avoid dealing with their diplomatic penalties for a while. Research 12 technologies from Era 1. I don't know that that's a thing that's very useful for us to do. We'll see. I'm sure the faction quest will make it worthwhile. Enter Technology Era 2 within the next 10 turns. 15 glass steel and pacification. Okay, you got it. That's fortuitous. So let's see who green is, if we can. I was worried about meeting blue because I didn't want to take diplomatic penalties for being settled against them right away. I don't care about meeting green. Our border with green is probably going to be fairly small. And they're mostly going to be blue's problem, I think. Somebody got the emeralds, whatever. Okay, so blue settled over here. Okay, so if we fight a roaming army, we'll get 10 blood crystals. There's no reason for me to do that. I don't care about 10 blood crystals. Heroes are slowly getting more expensive. I kind of think I want to heal. We might get attacked by that roaming army that we just spawned, and I don't want to lose a stalwart. Maybe we should head back. So blue expands outward, makes their whole empire a really funny shape. Let's see what we got here. Saratan. Getting some levels. Let's take the normal ranged commander skills. Jocelyn Duvall. I think we want to work toward the top of the tree right away because we really want to jam points into Dust Trickery. If we destroy a Delver's village in Amenavar, we'll get 80 dust. I don't want to do that, though. That'll screw up my my free 15 glass steel. Alright, Geomic Labs, and then... Can we get back on dust now? Yeah, that's fine. I'll take one extra turn. So somebody's in Era 3 already, by the way. It's turn 30. The AI gets some pretty serious bonuses. So up here in Rothkalor, near these anomalies, is an interesting settling spot, although it doesn't leave us much in the way of ability to expand the city. I guess we can build a two-wide city, one of the line-shaped cities, but it's going to have a lot of tiles that are pressed up against the border of the region. There's just not a really exciting space, and at least this spot has a ton of starting industry and dust. So that's going to be... Oof. It's quite a lot of movement. On the whole, though, I think things are going very well for us. We've got our titanium coming in now. Amenavar doesn't have strategics, it looks like. Yeah. Oh, there's a glass steel deposit. Oh, way up here in the corner. Okay. That's fine. We don't need a ton of glass steel right now. We certainly have access to quite a bit. We could try to get the industrial megapole. Like I was saying before the very impressive music started playing, we could try to get 5 adamantium. That's not hugely useful to us. We could try to get the industrial megapole as soon as we hit enough titanium. For some reason, there is a harmonite, a blue harmonite, in my region. That's not... I'm not happy about that. Pink has not expanded toward us at all. There are a couple of reasons that could be. But mostly it makes me happy that I probably will not have to deal with them trying to declare war on us anytime soon. Next turn we will meet green, because we only have to move up and to the left once to do that. Let's get these things going. Let us buy a hero to serve as governor in our new city. So, dust efficiency 1, dust boost 3 is probably a winner. I do like cultist heroes, but you don't have to get a cultist hero right away with Broken Lords, because you can just pump the population of a city to arbitrary levels later in the game. Alright, so Dust Boost 3 is something I'm pretty happy about in this city, and also his extra dust from water tiles will actually be, river tiles will actually be useful here. Okay, so everybody's working on this. Be 182 dust for the next citizen. Alright, for the most part, I think that our start is going fairly well. Alright, we have met green. Green is Ardent Mages. Blue is definitely, like, threatening me. They're planning to settle out here. They're going to crash right into red. And we have demons coming for us, which I'm not very happy about. Demons are one of the tougher minor faction units, in my opinion. One of the more dangerous ones, I should say. It's not that they're especially tough, but they have pretty high damage. And Chain Lightning is really dangerous in the early game. Alright, so we could start building burrows, but we don't really have the... I mean, we should build this burrow, because it gains us 13 dust. We don't really have the population to support a really built-out city, but I think it's a good idea to build that one burrow. We'll take a minor happiness penalty. It'll be alright. Alright, let's get back into our home region so that we can defend in case blue decides to get cheeky. I did not mash the button. I was supposed to mash the follow your orders button. Shoot. And our settler will not naturally heal. So we have to make sure that we perform this colonization action right at the beginning of the turn, so that that thing doesn't catch up with us and eat our poor settler. Alright, I think we're going to save a little bit of dust so that we can pop a couple settlers real quick here. Or I could just, you know what, yeah, let's just buy one for the capital, because settlers in the capital are slightly more valuable than settlers elsewhere due to being more efficient at producing dust, thanks to the abilities of our hero. Go. Alright, take that. No, come on! We moved onto the space and everything! Oh my god. And if we retreat, it'll kill us? Yeah, okay, so we're gonna, I feel like that was maybe a little unfair of the game. We're gonna reload the autosave from the beginning of the turn. We definitely had entered that order. That's frustrating. And we couldn't just heal the settler because it didn't have its action point. So we would have to do that at the beginning of turn 36 as well, which is potentially not an action that is available to us here. We'll heal. That's the safer thing to do. Okay, now we can retreat again. It only costs us 9 dust. We cannot retreat. Really? Oh, because performing the heal used our action point. Well, surprise, that kills us. The move to settle should have processed. We moved into the location. There should not have been any time where we were standing on that tile waiting without a city settled. I'm pretty annoyed about that. We're going to make that happen as it should have happened. But the fact that we're kind of getting our asses kicked by minor factions aside, I'm pretty happy about things. Why are you not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing? He even has orders. Well, I apologize. This is probably a little annoying to watch, but imagine how annoying it is to play. Yeah, the AI doesn't, or the game doesn't always process movement orders in a sensible fashion, and really, like, if that guy moves, he should settle. There's no situation where he should be standing in the tile not having settled. Okay, that time we managed to hit the thing fast enough. It's annoying that we had to do that, but we need to get over to that region, like, right away. I guess we can turn this off for now. We need to get over to that region and make sure those guys get pacified. So what quest did we have from them? Rothcolor? Ah, we had this one, which we are not probably going to do. How many villages are in the region? 2. We could kill the one that gave us the quest, which will cause us to lose the quest, and then try to take a quest from the other village. That usually works. But the most important thing about this is that we now have guaranteed access to the sea, and we've made it so blue can't expand effectively too much more. In fact, it looks like they've been hedged in on this side. If we can squeeze them, we can prevent them from even really getting economically into the game. And then we can just consume their holdings. And that means more powerful us. So that's going to be our short-term goal, is driving blue out of this game very quickly. The fact that these units are not really great combat units is going to be a weapon in our favor a little bit, for a change. So I think at this point, we just finished Alchemical Alloys 1. It's time to start looking at what options we have. Oh, we're going to get, yeah, a lot of extra influence from that. We're founded on a lot of anomalies. So let's have a look at our unit design. These stalwarts probably actually want to be using titanium weapons. But if I want to try to get the Mega Pull, we need to go to glass steel. The glass steel, well, actually, the glass steel will be effective in this case. I ordinarily don't like trying to get the glass steel weapons on them, because glass steel weapons are slightly less numerically effective in terms of attack and damage than titanium. Not even slightly. They are significantly less effective. But they give initiative. With these guys, your base initiative is so low that it doesn't really matter, I think. But against another Broken Lords player, it actually will, because his initiative is so bad. So do I actually want to take an Infantry Slayer 3? Say screw the shield, let's go for it, since we know our opponent's going to be largely on infantry units. Yeah, let's do it. Let's commit to big weapons. So it's going to be expensive to retrofit. Actually, do I want to... Let's not do this next. Let's do this, then this. Or maybe even... Dust Bishops. Dust Bishops are pretty cool. They don't do a lot of damage, not because their damage is low, but because their attack stat is incredibly low. But they are a ranged unit, and they have the ability Life Siphon, which causes their whenever they attack, they also pulse a heal to nearby friendlies. So you can have a Dust Bishop stand in the middle of your guys, do ranged attacks, and constantly be rebuilding your guys, which helps you save on healing costs. So we're going to go ahead and research that, then research the ability to actually fit those guys into our army. Right, let's rebuild that. And at this point, since we have bonus influence coming in, I feel comfortable assimilating these guys. We don't particularly need their unit, but I'm very happy about plus 5% dust per pacified village. And we can put our 20 wine to work, making us almost happy. Very close. Alright, we gotta deal with these guys, and by the time we're done dealing with these guys, we'll probably be about ready to start marching on blue. Due to organizational costs, you know, we have to, first of all, we have to actually heal this unit. These guys actually have to have full health. Oh, hello, Pink, in my lands for some reason. What's going on? And Pink closed their borders to us. They haven't expanded toward us. We don't actually share a border. So the closing of borders signifies that they're thinking about declaring war on us. But I don't think they'll do it until we share a border at least. I think we have a little bit of time. We don't have to kill Blue entirely, but I would like to take these two regions at least. Indorand is their capital, I think. That would be nice to take, obviously, since it has lots of stuff built into it already. What else do we want to do? Alright, once Rothkalor gets its Empire Mint online... Okay, Blue's also closing borders. That's totally expected, and not something I'm at all concerned about. Once we get Rothkalor's Empire Mint online, we might switch Rothkalor over to Industry. Or, over to Dust, rather. Yeah, I think we'll keep doing this. If we had not assimilated the Delvers, we could have also lowered our technology costs, but I'm not sure... I think it's better for us to have the bonus dust earlier than reduce our tech costs. I think that's the right thing to do. I don't want to build any more units because I want the next units I build to be dust bishops. So let's focus on this for now. I'll add some value to this tile. And I think we can probably auto this. Let's manual it. Just make sure nothing crazy happens. There's no reason for us to start way up here, really. I mean, I guess we're a lot tougher than these guys are now, thanks to the fact that we actually have some gear on. So why not just focus on them? And we have enough initiative that we actually get to go first, which is cool. Oh, the chain lightning. Okay, good defense, good defense. You focus on him, you move to here. Yep, keep fighting. Stalwarts have 3 combat move, which is worth noting because it's unusual. Most melee units have 2. Okay, we got a good soul siphon off there. Managed to restore one of our stalwarts to full health. These stalwarts are actually faster than our hero. And I think I would like to get titanium weaponry on the hero rather than glass steel in order to maintain that. Because it really is beneficial to us if the stalwarts go first so that they get soul siphons. Alright, so what are we doing here? No big changes. Dust Bishop is available next turn. We might move Amund onto building those right away. We could try for the Megapole. We have the resources for it, but I think it would be... my desire for pearls is becoming irresponsible. I have not picked up any pearls in quite some time. Are you sure you're not talking to Pink? Who apparently is down here for the express purpose of stealing pearls from me? This is the second winter, and we don't even have enough pearls to build our altar. Okay. We're not going to do your quest, so let's rumble. You know what? I'm just going to auto this. It's going to unfold in very much the same way. Okay. Quest cleared. And now if we go over to this village, we should be able to get a new quest from them. What do I want to build here, though? We could just build some dredges. Actually, let's make... We have 12 industry from city tiles in both of these cities. This actually could be where we make our military units. No, it should be... Yeah, it should be here because it makes more sense to keep the capital on dust since we have the hero with dust efficiency in the capital. So actually, let's go ahead and upgrade the Dust Bishop design. We can have our Dust Bishops have Unsteady or Exhaustion on their attacks. Exhaustion reduces enemy defense. Unsteady reduces enemy attack. I think we want to reduce enemy defense. So, Glass Steel Long Scepters and Dust Gear in the other slots. Or Iron Gear, rather, in the other slots. And then we'll get some titanium on our hero. And if the industrial megapole still looks feasible after that, then we'll do it. So let's get the hero upgraded. And we'll just use iron in all the defensive slots. And actually, our hero could potentially equip trinkets. We could get Army Damage Boost 1, which is fairly expensive, but it is bonus damage. You know, it's hard to say no to. We could also go Initiative Boost 1, which I'm sure is a very small amount. Plus 2, plus 5%. I don't think that's worth doing, even. I think we actually end up leaving this one blank. What does Last Resort do? Huh. That's really not very good. When a city that unit is in is being sieged. Oh, this might be useful, though. Plus 30% to the bonus provided by high ground for 3 glass steel. I'll take it. Alright, so we want to really try to make sure that she's higher than whatever she's attacking. And how much does it cost to buy out a Dust Bishop? 725, so that's pretty infeasible. We might buy out the second one, or at least a portion of the second one, just to make sure that we get this done as quickly as possible. Every turn that we're not attacking is a turn that blue is growing more powerful, right? So we want to be fast with our aggression. It looks like some of blue's military was directed off to their new settlements, so we might get lucky and catch them in a weakened state. Alright, do you want to give me a new quest? Give you 15 titanium? Well, that's not happening. I guess we're killing a couple more. Oh, these ones are level 2. Yeah, we're getting soul siphons, and so we're healing back all the damage right away. That's very, very nice. Alright, Amund. You know what? Amund can produce the second Dust Bishop. They don't have to come from the same place. Alright, yeah. I'm going to do this. And that means we have a little bit of dust left over. We could hire a hero for Rothkalor. Or we could just pump a bunch of citizens somewhere. Okay. Who made the megapole? I'm glad I didn't go for it, because we wouldn't have gotten it. It's purple. That's a shame. I don't know how to steal it from purple. I was really kind of hoping blue had done it somehow. What heroes are available? Still pretty much the same ones. Dust Efficiency 3 is pretty good, though. I think we're going to take him. And have him govern our city over here. And then we're going to pound population for a while with these guys. We're going to keep expanding, but we're going to do so by taking blue's regions rather than by settling our own. That's the plan. We should probably try to get these guys built. We definitely want you on dust. And we can't tell them to build the other village because we actually haven't killed it yet. But we'll kill it very soon. Alright, obviously Imperial Highways will help us generate more dust, and anything that helps us generate more dust is valuable. Trivially win that fight. Actually, let's go down here and grab this. So what are we looking at? Stalwarts 2, 51, 35 damage. Compared to our guys who are on 44 attack, 45 damage. So their units are actually still pretty good. And they have Harmonite, who are pretty hard-hitting. I'm definitely concerned. I wish we had more ranged units. Like, just ranged units that did more damage, I mean. Alright. So we have the ability to carry 6 units in an army now, and we're about to have 6 units. I really, really hope we can do this. I'm not 100% certain that we will be successful in fighting blue. So at this point, we want to just be pumping population with our dust for the foreseeable future. It is going to take us a moment to be ready. And I think, unfortunately, just so that you're not all held in suspense and then disappointed, we probably are not actually going to do the fighting this turn. Or this video. We'll get into position so that we can start the fighting at the beginning of the next video. Sure. Okay, pink is putting themselves in a position to fight us. Blue has walled us off so that we don't push them back into that corner. Yeah, let's start building out our city here so that we can get to this river and get the aquapulvistics going. So yeah, we're going to mass up for an attack. We're going to try to push blue at Indurand as quickly as possible. Or maybe we should actually take the new city first. Basically, what we want to do is attack them where their army isn't. And I don't really have a good way of knowing that. We can push into their territory a little bit before declaring war. Or like push around the edge of their territory a little bit before declaring war in the hopes of revealing something. I think we are going to be building this next. Build the altar and then build that. And that'll level up the museum and make sure that the city stays fervent. Because our approval is about to get pretty unpredictable. If our conquering goes well, our approval is going to get kind of weird for a while. How much is this? Yeah, we have enough. Okay, new Dust Bishop. So let's merge up. We have 6 units in decent gear with pretty good synergy throughout our builds. Here's hoping. If I don't sound terribly confident, it's just because I'm not. And this is going to be a risky endeavor. But if we break blue and manage to take a region or two, even if it's just a region or two and then we call peace, that probably removes blue from the game and it puts us a hell of a lot closer to winning it. The wine has run out, sadly, so we're back down to content. We are going to probably, I think, go back and start picking up some more tech from this era, though. Sewer system is going to be valuable for us. This will help move our faction quest along, too, as we do this. And I think that's where we're going to call it for this video. Come back next time, tomorrow, or, yeah, tomorrow. I think this is Thursday's video. Come back next time. We're going to go to war with our fellow Broken Lords, eliminate this heretical sect, take over at least this much of their land, have a nice 7 regions to ourselves, probably, if we just take this group. Yeah, and then I think we'll be in a really good position to win the game. Either that or we'll go to war with blue and lose horribly, and then we get to try again. Brand new start. In either case, we'll see you then.